welcome to 20 for 20. My name is Kathleen Draper with the Elks National Foundation. Today, I'm joined by Eric Shaw, a 2017 Most Valuable Student Scholar from Connecticut. Eric received a 2020 Gunther and Lee Weigel Medical School Scholarship, which is offered exclusively to Elks scholars pursuing a medical degree. Thanks so much for joining us today, Eric. And first, I'll just have you tell us where you're from and a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm from Madison, Connecticut, and I go to school in Boston at Boston University. I attended there for undergrad, and I'm heading there for their medical school.
Okay, awesome. And then what did you study during your undergrad?
During undergrad, I double majored in economics and medical science.
Okay, awesome. And then, so you started medical school at Boston University this fall, and do you know what your specialty is going to be, or are you still trying to figure that out?
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Okay, is there anything you're kind of leaning towards?
I really I like surgery, I like dermatology, but I'm just still trying to get a feel for everything, maybe doing some shadowing to get a better sense of what I might be interested in.
Yeah, definitely. And what has your first semester of medical school been like with the pandemic and everything? Are you kind of hybrid with virtual and in-person classes and labs? Are you mostly virtual? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's definitely been different. For the first few months, we were all virtual, just having everyone fly into Boston and everyone like having to quarantine and stuff. So the first month and a half was all virtual, and then we started anatomy, so it was kind of hybrid. We would go in for like anatomy dissections and lab and stuff. So it's nice like that we were able to like actually interact with other students and interact with patients.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I have a few friends who took gross anatomy, and it's definitely hard to do that virtually. So that's great that you've been able to go in and meet fellow students from your class. And then when did you realize that you wanted to be a doctor and pursue a medical degree?
Um, Actually in high school, so I got into Boston University for their 7-year accelerated medical program.
Mm.
So it's kind of like a combined thing where I knew already in high school I would probably be attending BU School of Medicine. I guess in high school it just stemmed from kind of first like scientific interest, just based off like coursework, and then I did some research in high school. But like what really crystallized my passion was kind of experiences shadowing and volunteering. I did that at Yale Hospital in the surgical unit, and I saw a lot of like the patient physician interactions and kind of like the more humanistic aspect of medicine that really spoke to me.
Yeah, and why do you want to be a doctor?
Um, I think it really ties together kind of my academic and scientific interests with sort of kind of what I like about like patient interaction and doing something tangible. I like the empathy, the humanism, kind of just being able to interact with patients of all different backgrounds and walks of life. I think a couple areas I'm currently pretty passionate about is like health equity and like public health, things like that. And I really like working with like diverse patient populations, and we have that a lot at Boston Medical Center. Um,
Yeah, that's really kind of takes me to my next question, which is how you want to affect change as a physician. You kind of just touched on that in terms of health equity and public health outreach and things like that. So how do you really kind of want to make a change in the system as a physician?
um, I think it's definitely hard, and I'm still like exploring ways of how I can better pursue that. Like a couple of things I've been involved with, or I'm currently involved with in my first semester, is like there's a healthcare for the homeless program. Like right across Boston Medical Center, there's Boston Healthcare for the Homeless program. And that sees a lot of like underserved patients and people with like diverse needs, from people who might not have insurance, things like that, who are facing a lot of like social issues or social factors. Um, and other organizations I've been involved with are, I'm really interested in like the Massachusetts Medical Society and the AMA, and through that there's a lot of like health policy work. Um, I obviously like I'm very new to that aspect, so I haven't like been able to like come up with my own resolutions, but I'm trying to learn still, and hopefully like through that avenue we can kind of reach a wider population through there.
Yeah, it sounds like you're already well on your way to kind of getting involved with that. And of course, service is not new to you. As an Elks Scholar, that's really important um, for our Elks Scholars and the Elks in general. And you actually attended the winter 2020 service trip in San Diego. So, what was that like, and what did you learn from that experience?
Um, yeah, so I guess like the reason why I applied was like it was like kind of my last semester of undergrad. And I knew like it might be harder like if I entered medical school and stuff like that to sort of serve there. And like a year ago, I attended the 150 for 150 scholarship in San Diego or San Antonio, and that was such a positive experience. And a few of my friends that attended the Biloxi trip before in March, they really recommended it. They said they had a great time. So I was like, okay, it sounds like a great time and a lot of fun. So I applied, and it was very, very mind changing. Um, I think in that short week, it was like incredible that I was able to get so close with people from across the country that are of different ages, go to different schools. And we were able to get so close, and we were able to do so much. I think we all learned a lot about the population experiencing homelessness in San Diego that I didn't realize before. And also, we were able to learn about ourselves, like some of the um, kind of inherent assumptions we tend to make, and how to like act from that, and sort of how to um, reduce kind of the stigma on people experiencing homelessness, how to like directly interact with them. Um, and also we learned, or I learned a lot about like how much like the Elks care. We visited like the veterans home, we visited the El Cajon Lodge, and everyone was just like so genuinely happy to see us there, when it was like sort of the opposite. I was like pretty thankful that they were like letting us into their lodge.
Yeah, it sounded like such a life-changing experience, and I think the perspectives you took away from it are very similar to what other people and students who were involved on the trip took away from it. I know that it was definitely a really awesome experience to connect with others um, and shape kind of your perspective on individuals experiencing homelessness and how to best serve them. So that's really cool that you were able to be a part of that, especially before embarking on in medical school. And then what's something that you're passionate about outside of obviously science and academics and medicine and of course service? So what's something that you, maybe a hobby that you picked up in the quarantine or something like that?
So I've been really into music. So I've been playing the piano since I was 4. Um, so that was like kind of a pastime that I took up during like the quarantine period. I did sort of that, and then I also picked up the guitar. Um, yeah, it's something like obviously like a piano is pretty hard to carry around. So um, yeah, and I also like sang in high school, and I've been like into singing casually. So like I took guitar as like a good accompaniment for that.
Yeah, that's really cool. And did you teach yourself how to play guitar? Did you take any kind of virtual classes or learn from someone?
I just like taught myself mostly. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a little bit easier since like I already play the piano. Just like through like YouTube videos and like online and stuff like that.
I know. I feel like I've been relying on YouTube for everything I do in, while I'm at home. So that's really cool that you were able to kind of take that on and pick up a new hobby that also reflects something that you already care about. And then what is your Weigel Scholarship allowing you to do?
Um, I think obviously like medical school is pretty expensive. It's an expensive endeavor. And I think that the Weigel mission is really impactful for me because like that alleviates a lot of sort of the financial strain on medical school, and it allows you to sort of go beyond your comfort zone more instead. It allows you the opportunity to sort of really make a difference and think more about the extracurriculars you're doing, um, and sort of like have less of that financial burden. I know like a lot of other students, including myself, like I also like I tutor on the side for medical school, um, and like that definitely is very fulfilling. But like I can do a little bit less hours because of the Weigel Scholarship, and that leaves me time to pursue other activities, like public health activities that I care about, and other like clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's really great that it allows you to kind of pursue other interests and really kind of have a well-rounded medical school experience. You touched on this before, especially from the San Diego trip, and how excited all the Elks were to have you there and how grateful you were. But if there was one thing you could say to the Elks, what would you say?
Um, Definitely a huge thank you. I think, I guess it's just, I really didn't realize in 2017 when I received the MBS, like how much of a family it would be. Um, I know like I also received some other scholarships as well. And none of those were like, or a lot of them weren't as involved. I guess it was more like you get also the financial freedom, but it's not like you're a part of that family. But for the Elks, it's just been incredible. Just taking all of us scholars in and really it shows like through all the experiences I've had in like meeting Elks members in the lodge at the national convention, I think everyone really cares about their scholars and they're really proud. Like in San Antonio, I actually met the leaders at the Elks Lodge that sponsored me, the Westbrook, Connecticut Lodge. Um, and that was just like I was so thankful for them, but it seemed like they were also super happy to meet me, and they were so excited to actually like meet the scholarship or the scholar from their own lodge. And just throughout my years and my service trips that I've attended, I think it's just really nice and it's really refreshing how much all the Elks members care about us scholars.
Yeah, that's definitely something. I've only been at the foundation for just over a year, but the Elks family is definitely something that carries through everything that the Elks do and everything that our scholars do. And it's just really, it's really unique to see that. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Eric. And thanks to all of our viewers for tuning in. If you like the show, hit the like button below and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks so much, Kathleen.
Yeah, thank you.